Hello, hello, and welcome to Business Beyond the Matrix, where we share how to lead your business intuitively, magnetize ideal clients, and propel your revenue in 2024 while working only part-time hours. I'm your host and intuitive business consultant, Megan Camille, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to Anna Kowalska. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you, Megan. You pronounced my name so well.
The first and the last name. Woo! On the second
Yeah.
page.
Mhm.
So happy to have you here. And for those of you who don't know, Anna is a transformational coach, mentor, and trainer specializing in empowering women to discover and harness their spiritual gifts, stepping into their power as leaders. Her mission is to guide these incredible women toward a life that is not only prosperous, but deeply intertwined with their soul's work and purpose, even if they're still on the path to discovering what that purpose may be. You can join Anna on this journey of transformation and empowerment. Unlock the infinite potential that lies within you and every woman, paving the way for a future where every individual can thrive, grounded in their spiritual gifts and true purpose. Wow, so inspiring. Anna, I would love to just start with what has brought you to your knowing of what your purpose is.
Mhm. Yeah. So, wow, what a journey. It was creating everything in a physical, creating everything in 3D in tangible ways that we are taught we should have. And after creating it over and over again, still feeling empty, still feeling like that's not it. And I was in a search. Like I knew I would, before I knew what manifesting was, I wanted to do something. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And here I am. But no matter what, I constantly still felt like something's missing. I am not enjoying what I do. Part of it I learned on the journey is the fact that I am such a curious being that one career in a lifetime would never have worked for me. So I constantly kept looking. But another aspect of it was that this whole concept of purpose was never something I grew up with. So I grew up in a communist country and there is no purpose. People live to survive and try not to get killed. So it's mentality where the conversation of purpose doesn't come up. And I was walking down Manhattan Avenue one time. I remember thinking, wow, again, I manifested, but before I knew what manifesting was. I didn't use that word, but now we know. I manifested exactly what I wanted, and I still feel like that's not it. And I worked really hard to create it. And again, like doesn't feel like, oh, I reached this pinnacle and I should feel a certain way. So somehow I couldn't even tell you how I stumbled upon the word and the concept of purpose. But first, it became this search for something very specific. If I do this specific things will work out and I will love what I do and I will make great money and it will be some kind of a guarantee. And I started to search what my purpose was. And of course, I used all the tools. I actually still use one of the tools with my clients, which is scientific hand analysis. That led me to on a path. And the iteration of my purpose kept changing. So what I know right now is that purpose is not this fixed thing. You can't just say, this is my purpose and expect your life to all of a sudden be rainbows and butterflies. Purpose is like a North Star. It's an essence of who you are. And then we constantly upgrade and elevate what it looks like and how we express it. Once I started to be on that journey where I was connected to my soul, to the divine, and I was creating based on internally, I felt driven and called to. It's not like magically things changed, but everything was richer, brighter, and I wanted it differently. Where in the past, I wanted it for the sake of when I have it, I will feel some way. All of a sudden, it shifted. It shifted for the satisfaction of creating it versus having it. And then having what was just has become just a byproduct of the journey.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And so, talking about the difference between the journey and the byproduct of the journey, I often say the process is the purpose, right? Like being in the path to awakening, learning what really lights you up and turns you on. Because I'm curious what you think about this, but I would imagine that, you know, even in the country that you come from, and like purpose not being a big thing is
Mhm.
isn't necessarily a thing that we think about as a kid either, right? Naturally. And
Yeah.
say like in the space that I've created for my family, the kids, and I am all about purpose, right? The kids aren't actually pondering their purpose. They're just
No.
in the process. And so how do you, or what is your take on enjoying the process as you discover your purpose as well?
Mhm. Yes. Well, absolutely. Now I can align with that and I see it. It is the journey is the whole entire point.
Mhm.
Seeing who I become as I create, seeing who I become as I get curious, seeing what parts of me open up and like, wow, can I really do this? Yes. And what in me will open up when I am in a process of doing this versus, oh, I have it. It's so nice. Like it's simple. I'm looking at my lip gloss. So there's been a whole journey of finding a lip gloss I love. The whole journey was so much more satisfying than finally, and I found a lip gloss I love, and hopefully I don't discontinue it. But I'm staring at it and I'm like, it's such a perfect metaphor for this. I loved the process of it. I loved finding the clean product that will last and shine and have the perfect hue. That was a lot more interesting to me. Like I remember one time my partner and I were back in Manhattan and we went into Sephora and I'm like, wow, they carry this line and I want to see if they have this color because I heard, like I saw online and I heard from the reviews, let's go and see if they have it. And they did. And I was beaming, like, I mean, I could buy it online a long time ago, but I was like in the process of finding it. And then there was this Sephora that carried it and not too many do. And even that was like, wow, we were both excited. He was happy to buy it for me. I mean, it's a simple example, but the journey to finding and then buying it was a lot more fun than now using it. I mean, I love it. Again, I hope they don't discontinue it. But it's like, yeah, here it is. Okay. I lived with it. I lived without it. No big deal. But it was the fun and the exploration and the curiosity and the research that went on up until then that was a lot more satisfying than actually having it here.
Yeah, yeah. And isn't it interesting how, like, especially the humanness, if we're like really steeped in our humanness, we're just ready for the next thing to be in
Yeah.
process toward, right? And so as we start applying like this concept to business, I would love for you to support on like what ways do we enjoy the journey as opposed to like, okay, well, I need to get to 100K a year or I need to get to 100K a month now, right? That actually that never ends, right? If we leave it
Yeah.
up to the humanness, we get what we want, then all of a sudden we want something
Yeah.
new. And
Mhm.
so, what is your process for enjoying the purpose? And then I
Mhm.
want to go into, can someone's, do you think everybody's purpose can become a business or monetized?
Oh, that's a juicy question. I almost want to jump to the second one, but let me start
Sure.
with the first
Yeah.
one. I'll start with the first one. Just remind me if I forget. So I gave myself permission to be super creative in my business. So I act on the inspiration that I receive, and everybody's journey will be different. For some people, it is very powerful to have a repeatable system in place. And for some others, it is changing things up that's really the juice in creation. For me, what I found is that if I do the same thing over and over, I have to do it in new ways. That's for me. If I just do it just to reach the next level, it is not fulfilling to me. It is not interesting to me. It's like my business has become this process of creation, this piece of art that I constantly remold. Like, I don't know if you've ever been around artists, but we paint something on canvas, and then if we don't like it, we paint over it. We put a primer and then paint over it. So that's especially like the practice canvas, that's what we do. And when I began to accept that in my business, Like this whole idea of a niche, I think it's really important, but not for everybody. Like, I don't think it's a rule. It really is what will work for you. Like some people, and there are people that stand by two sides like it's the absolute truth. Must have a niche. And the other person will say, no, you are the brand and your niche can change every day if you want to, because whatever you are learning, you are bringing forth, and that's your experience. And I found that somewhere in between is my happy spot where I know who I'm talking to. Like, I am clear about that. But at the same time, I allow myself to flow. I allow myself to follow the creative impulse. And doesn't mean that I talk about potatoes today and oranges tomorrow. But
Right.
I am always within the same area of expertise. It's
Mm,
just that the angle that I approach it, or how I present it, or how what I invite people into constantly changes. That's what keeps me excited about it. And then reaching a certain goal, it's just something that I use to check in. Am I on track from that perspective or not? If
mm,
I'm on track, great. If I'm not, what has to change? What do I get to shift either in the way I do it or something in me, my mindset, my energetics, my emotions? So it's really the levels, monetary levels, to me are just checkpoints.
mhm. Yeah, I think this is so inspirational to see that leading a successful business is not about following the rules, right? Like you're not at a job where you have to do it this way, and this way, the way that they say to do it, or
Mm-hmm.
else you've done it wrong. Instead, you're going, oh, I get to flow with this. I get to
Yeah.
flow with this. And that's really why we are in business, is for that sovereign creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Which then brings me to the second question is,
Mm-hmm.
it's like monetizing our purpose, bringing it into a business. Do you feel that that is applicable and true for everyone?
Yes and no. So it's sort of a two-part answer, and it is because of where we are. So I would say up until very recently, not every single purpose needed to be monetized. Could you monetize it? Yes. Did you need to? No. For example, if part of your purpose is artistically to be artistically, creatively expressed, and it is absolutely like I use scientific hand analysis, there absolutely is a purpose that has you be expressed in the arts. Do you have to turn it into a money-making profession? No, you don't. Let's say you are a successful accountant, which is sort of every time I meet an accountant, I look at their hands, they're meant to be creative. And there is a lot of creativity in accounting, don't get me wrong. I think that really good accountants know how to be creative. And legally, of course, I'm not talking about creativity.
I'm like, oh, I want one of those accountants.
I know. The ones who know how to be creative and still follow the letter of law. So, so there is a lot of creativity there, but one could express their purpose in ways that doesn't necessarily have to be in their business. And it was true up until pretty recently. But I'll tell you where we are going as humanity. So we are in a process of this really big evolutionary shift for humans. And anybody who's tuning into this series that you are creating, Megan, already knows it. Like, I'm not dropping a bomb on them. We are changing how humanity operates in the world. And I truly happen to believe that the only way that that the energy will sustain us creating resources is if we are aligned with what inherently is already ours to express. So in the future, getting a job for the sake of a paycheck or growing a business for the sake of hitting 6 or 7 figures will no longer be energetically supported.
Mhm. Right.
Going forward, the only thing that will be energetically supported is our true authentic expression. So you may have the artist as part of your purpose. Doesn't mean you have to go paint and sell your paintings. No, but you better honor your creativity and express yourself in your business. So there will be signs for those who are here to be creatively expressed, but maybe choose to be a business coach. there will be signs that they are expressing their creativity. They may have certain style to their brand or certain way in which their images show up, or they will be super creative in how they make their offerings. They will be the innovators. They will be at the edge of creating something completely new. So for a while, we can still get away with it. Like if your business is not an expression of your soul, authentic essence, you may still get away with it for a while, not too much longer. The energies are shifting and they truly will not support us getting exchange of resources for something that's not authentically in alignment, because everything else is out of scarcity and fear.
I actually see this already happening because
Mhm.
even if someone has a job for the sake of a paycheck, they may receive the compensation, the monetary compensation, but they're also paying a really high price
Yeah.
of fulfillment, of
Mhm.
like life force energy, right? So it's kind of like that, it just energetically won't be able to sustain even if it is not in a monetary way. Maybe you could still keep getting paid, but are you actually sustaining in other ways, in fulfillment, in joy, in life force
Mhm.
energy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really powerful. We can already see remnants of that. And
Mhm.
so, what would be your recommendation for those who are in business and they've maybe accidentally replicated their corporate experience of like, oh yeah, I'm doing this as a paycheck, but they
Mhm.
also have the yearning for it to be more purpose driven and aligned. But the thinking of like, no one's going to pay me for that, right? No one's going to pay me for that. How do they start shifting and restructuring to align with receiving compensation for what they do
Mhm.
love to do?
Do it. Do it. It really is that simple. Well, first of all, get some guidance. And I know it sounds like a self-serving answer, and it really is important. Guidance doesn't mean get somebody to tell you what to do, but have somebody in your corner that is not emotionally attached to your results. So it won't be your friends, it won't be your partners, it definitely won't be your business associates that you created or relationships you created in your old business structure, because there is a pretty good chance they are attached to what you've been doing and how you've been doing, and they probably do it similarly. So they can't support you in changing it up. So you either get a coach that is not emotionally attached to, meaning what I mean by emotionally attached is that they are invested in your success the way you want it, versus invested in you should keep things the way they are because it makes me look good, or it makes me keep safe, or this is all I know, right? That's why coaches are so important, because coaches are invested but not emotionally attached to what you create, at least the good ones, right? Like, I know you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So get somebody around you who will support you and guide you, not on what to do, but how to be with the changes you are making, how to maneuver and manage the limited thinking, the emotional collapse, the waves, so you can make the changes, so you can adopt the beliefs in a way that support you doing this work. There may even be like a moment, a void, where the people you've been working with get a hold of the thing you are doing and say, well, that's completely not what I'm
Mm,
aligned to, so goodbye. And there will be some who said, oh my gosh, what took you so long? And they'll come along. There'll be shift, there'll be redesign of what's happening. And there might be, doesn't have to be, but there might be like a financial shift for a moment, a dip even. So you want somebody around you who can remind you, this is okay, this is normal, you are restructuring, you are changing something. It's like if all of a sudden Starbucks went completely dairy free,
mm,
there would be an adjustment. Many people will be like, what do you mean dairy free? Right? Or all decaf. I'm being facetious and like really outrageous with these comparisons. But it's like there will be a change in who is being attracted to you. And another reason why we get to be supported is because we will question it. We question our truth more than we question anything else.
yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? Do you find it to be true, Megan?
That is so true. And I think that bringing in support. I'm a huge proponent for support. Again, not in a self-serving way, but in a it has served me kind of
Yeah.
way. And I
Mhm.
would have done it sooner if I would have known the power of it. And
Mhm.
like you're saying, there are those moments of stretches where your family, your friends, your associates, they're not in maybe that same evolution of you of going, hey, I
Mhm.
can actually live my purpose here and in that stretch. And so they're going to want you to feel good again and like
Yeah.
just safe and like come back to what is known. And so I
Mhm.
would imagine that you also went through that own your own stretch of that of like I'm holding a vision that no one else is actually able to stabilize with me because it is so new or different from what I've
Mhm.
been used to. And so, how, I mean, I'm sure that you also had support, but what do you do now to stabilize, to support the nervous system, to keep the morale high when it's like, I'm holding a vision that other people aren't
Mhm.
seeing with me yet, yet.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, right now with the work that I do, it's exactly where I am. I feel like I've been, and I feel like that's true for you too. We are always at the edge. We are always at the edge of holding space for something that either very few people understand or very few people are even looking at. So right now, I mean, I talk about we are the channels for future technologies and solutions. And some people are still like, what? So I am speaking to something that most people are not grasping, but all the technology that exists right now, and not even technologies, but industries, the way they operate, health, education, food industry, clothing, even like housing, all of it will completely go through redesign, collapse and rebuild in something different. And we are in that window. Like right now, somebody going, and I'm going to say this, even though some people may not like it, going to college to learn how to be a doctor right now is a complete waste of time. And that's just my perspective, because everything we learn, go to learn about a human body, fine, but don't learn any techniques that exist because they are so obsolete. Medicine as it is obsolete. I'll just use that one example. Actually education too. So like going to school to be a teacher and learning how to, don't you have a background in education?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
For that, that's right. So the way we are educating children in the future will be very different than we did in the past. So somebody going to college right now to learn, to get a degree in education, unless they are going in just to learn how to break it, so we
Mhm.
can create something new, I think it's completely obsolete. So many people who are building businesses right now, we must be open to constant reinvention. And I mean, it's true right now in like marketing of our businesses. Every single week, I'm like, what gets to shift? How does it get to shift? So how do I say it in a way that lands for people right now? Because the atmosphere completely changed since, last Saturday event.
Timeline
So absolutely. So now, how do I speak to people to reach them? And we must be constantly at this edge. And to me, I just got chills. To me, knowing that I am not doing something just to pay my bills, but I am doing something that's paving the way for where we are going, and so be connected to the evolution of humanity. I immerse myself in conversations with people who see where we are, and instead of holding on to the old and try to fix it,
Mhm.
I immerse myself in conversations with people who are willing to be crazy, outrageous, and irrational in what they envision is possible for the future. And that sustains me in the moments when I'm like, well, why can't I just create some dumb product and make some craziest TikTok videos and rake in money?
Yeah, you're right, right. And I think what I'm really aligning with here is the reinvention aspect and how so much of the systems are changing. And when people come into work with me and they're like, well, I have this degree and this certification, I'm not using it. And I'm like, well, that's because people are no longer hiring,
Yeah.
whether it be mentorship or guidance or people to work on their teams based on resumes and degrees. We're going based on frequency and the vibration that you're holding, the experience that you've had, not sitting in a classroom or being educated by someone who thinks like that, but instead the experience. So actually the shedding of, am I certified enough? Do I have enough education is also part of what is dissolving so that we're being guided and led from a higher direction versus here's the protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
This is such a fascinating conversation, and I would like to allow for enough time and space for you to walk us through your particular practice or exercise for the audience today over the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's see what comes through. I always like to go with whatever energy in the space by those who gather in the moment or over time are here to benefit from. So take a deep breath with me, and I will invite any energies and support system that are here for those who will gather together as a collective in this series as it is, again, in this moment and over a period of time. Come and support and channel through me what it is for us to learn and adopt as a ritual to sustain our commitment to the vision that we see. So what I'm going to guide you through is allowing what I will share through my voice to land in you in some way that it awakens and knowing in such way that you will not question it for as long as necessary for you to plant the seed of it. So take another deep breath and feel grounded in your physical body. Our bodies are channels. We are a channel, and our physical body is like a tuning fork to what we allow ourselves to receive. So first, what we're going to do is receive the upgrade to your frequency in whatever way it gets to be right now for you to activate and knowing about something you are on a path of creating that will serve the collective in the now and future times. And feel that especially in the solar plexus, our power center as we know it. It may change as we keep going forward and we become a 12-stream DNA human being. In this moment, we still all align with the truth that our solar plexus is the center of the power we allow to express, have, and utilize. So I want you to hear like a tune, a tone, a musical tone, whatever instrument that you prefer, enjoy, that is pleasant to you. Feel and hear both, feel and hear a tone, like a ping almost, that becomes the sign of your attunement to the frequency that you get to be to receive an activation of some unique expression of who you are. And in this moment, I invite you to allow yourself to accept, believe, trust that there is something unique you are here to express. And unique doesn't mean it's never been done. Nobody's ever said it. So unique that when people read it, most question. And I'm being shown a book title. So don't seek for such unique idea that you stop yourself in a steps along the way because you're waiting for this never heard of truth. and allow yourself to receive right now some symbol, some way of knowing, a confirmation that you are awakening to some unique expression of who you are. This could be a healing modality, a way to do something, a way to see something. So often we underestimate how valuable a perspective is. Oh, I just got activation on that for a group of people, quite a substantial number of people who are tuning into this series. That you're unique doesn't mean it looks different or sounds different. Your perspective on it is unique. And that's when you own this perspective, it will allow the flow. So right now what's activated is my hand that allows the flow in, the flow in. And whether it is the flow in of money or the flow in of ideas, it's the same, because when you own the value of them, it immediately translates into resources coming in when you share it. So follow, if you can, with me this, because this is powerful for those who are gathering here today. And the time span for this series. The moment you own your unique perspective on something and begin to choose to share it in a way that is risky for you, but only risky because you've never done it this way. It's not risky because nobody's ever said it, but the way you are about to share it, the way you see it, when you begin to share it in whatever way you do, it opens up a flow. So if any of you right now feel stuck, and we know stuck is just a thought, a belief, an idea that's not really true, but if you have an experience of maybe things not moving forward, I'm inviting you to shift your perspective about something. Don't look for a new idea, look for a new perspective on it. That's coming so strongly for the collective that's present to this experience. And now as you do, and we're going to now in this moment unlock that it's so, it opens to the flow. And now you get to receive that just change in perspective is valuable, so much so that you allow yourself to receive the monetary exchange. And we are talking business, and it's powerful for us humans to begin to own that business is a channel of receiving in exchange for your new perspective. So as you own it, I want you to imagine that the channel through which the resources have been coming to you widens. So imagine right now that even with your hands, if you choose to, you are expanding the channel through which the resources flow to you. And I'm actually expanding it for all of us. If you choose it, you are in the energy of expanding the channel. Expanding the channel means more can come in at once and more can come in consistently. The essence of what we're doing is allowing for more because we value the perspective that much more. Very important for all here to understand that it's not the value of how much you do or how unique what you do is. Your perspective is what's valuable. And the more you can stand in the value of your perspective, the wider your channel will be. So allow yourself to receive it into whatever degree and level you will. And one more time, if there is a symbol or something for you to know, to receive, that will affirm for you, I'm on the right track, receive it now. Calibrate the safety to the new level of money coming in. So maybe 6 figures in a period of time, whatever it was, 6 figures in a month, 6 figures in a year, wherever you are, we don't want to judge it. We are just giving it to you as a way for you to understand. We are anchoring, I am safe receiving that in a much shorter time, not because I need more in the moment, but the level to which I calibrate my safety with receiving it allows me to pour more into the collective. the more I receive, the more I can give of my gift. It is not the other way around. So what I'm in a closing, what I'm being shown is shifting around the perspective of the more I give, the more I receive. It's actually what I'm seeing is a giant X on it, like, game over. That no longer works. And what we are going to be creating from this moment on, if you choose to, you do always have a right to choose. You can shift it around and literally turn it upside down, and imagine from now on, the more you allow yourself to receive, the more you can be of service to the collective. And so it is. Thank you.
Wow, really powerful. I had a moment of like dizziness. And then when you were talking about the hands, they were so warm, so warm. Wow, what a powerful activation and channeling. Thank you. Will you also share what your complimentary gift is today?
Yes, it's the 3 pillars to activate sacred success: power, purpose, and prosperity. So it's the steps that I've gone through to when life was flat, no matter what I did. I first went through owning my power, and then owning my purpose, and then shifting my relationship with prosperity. One would imagine it's the first step to take. It's actually the last one. It's the result of me first shifting in my power, then my purpose, and then claiming a new way of being with prosperity in the world.
So good. So good. You can access Anna's free gift below. You will also find my invitation to join me live for 500K in 3 hours a day training, the energetic and strategic steps to increasing impact, income, and freedom. As always, thank you for being here with us on Business Beyond the Matrix. And Anna, I'm so appreciative of the wisdom that you have shared today. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
We'll see you next time.